Teen shot at for asking for directions while being black. Here's some good advice for black teens in the U.S. Try not to look too black around racist people. According to CBS, retired white Detroit firefighter Jeffrey Ziegler has been charged with assault with intent to murder after the moron actually tried to shoot a black teen who knocked on a man's suburban home to ask for directions. 14-year-old Brennan Walker of Rochester Hills woke up late for school last Thursday and missed the bus, so was forced to hoof it. He didn't have a phone, so no GPS. He ended up getting lost, so he did what any normal kid would do. He asked for directions. The Rochester Hills freshman tried a few houses until he got to the Zieglers, which he reportedly noticed had a neighborhood watch sticker. He knocked and a woman answered the door. The teen tried to explain he was a student and needed directions, but the white lady freaked and thought he was trying to rob the house, because robbers usually knock first. That's when her husband, 53-year-old Jeffrey Ziegler, got even more scared and petrified, so he went upstairs to get a shotgun. According to law enforcement, Ziegler was not terribly weapons competent and was slow to discharge his shotgun, which allowed Brennan to get away safely.
2 shots. He's Bruce Elliott, only 22 years of age. 20th pick in the 2014 draft.
Security footage
Took it top ball again.
He did this a few games ago, the same spot. The lower back.
Southwest Airlines flight grounded for flaming rain.
That
The Southwest
hurts.
flight from D-Town to St. Louis was grounded after a passenger happened to notice the wing was on fire right before takeoff. David
Steve
Fedor
Kerr is upset
the
because this was Vince Carter that upended him this way.
last Thursday when his spider
Just told
sense
Gary,
activated.
said they're not mad at you, mad at Vince.
Well, let's watch
When he looked
at the
out
angle,
window, he saw
and he
flames
comes up.
coming from the bottom of the ring.
Vince
During
Carter,
the
what are you
theater, the
doing?
flight had about 80 people, but he had the rear.
The play was
motion
over.
to
The play was
himself.
over.
Apparently,
That's
no one else in
20
this
years in
fire
the
said
league. You
not
got to know
feel
that.
safe
That is,
and calm
you just
after
don't
the
do
flight
that.
attendants. At first, the
Upend a
flight
guy when he's
attendant told him to
airborne.
sit down, but
No,
then
Vince
she came
didn't
back
mean
and saw the
anything.
plane for
But that
herself.
inadvertent
She ordered the pilot
shove, he just injured a player there on a layup that was already done.
I'm just trying to think, because we see Patrick McCaw fall a lot like this. What he can do to help prevent that. Maybe an up fake, let the guy go by, and then get an easy layup. He's completely defenseless when he's up in the air like that.
Vince Carter is definitely regretful as he was over there by Pat McCaw, but he is in a lot of pain.
You saw him squirming, rolling to ward off that
Before
pain.
the flight, the pilot happened to see a sparrow board the plane.
The Warriors just getting healthy with Klay Thompson coming back, and getting Durant, getting Draymond, but you're minus Iguodala, and McCaw had excellent back-to-back games. He's got 7 points tonight at double figures against Milwaukee. But this doesn't look good at all. This did not have to happen in an 88-69 game.
In the end, after a considerable delay, the flight
For
eventually
someone
made
that
its way down to Atlanta.
was an aerial
No word on what
dunker,
airline
Vince
the Spirit
Carter, he
ended up
probably
taking.
wouldn't appreciate that happen when he elevated
Spirit
either.
Airlines plane spews parts after Detroit takeoff. The FAA is looking
Vince
into
sees
why
the
Spirit
consequences there,
Airlines
you know,
spews
just kind of
parts
the
after
Okay,
Detroit
here we go.
airport takeoff
He goes up.
Monday night.
I think he was going up to Duncan.
Atlanta was forced to return to Detroit.
That's where you,
Metro
and I'm
Airport
not
after experiencing
pointing the
engine
finger
failure.
here. Obviously,
The plane was able
Vince
to land
just
safely
tried to
without
walk through the
incident,
thing.
but unfortunately,
Let's see what he's. Let's
dumped
watch
a
Vince.
bunch
What's
of
he doing
engine
here?
gases into the yards of Detroit residents. The FAA
So
said
he tried to walk
investigators were
by
looking
him
into what went
without
wrong.
brushing him, but he brushed him enough. And that's what I'm saying. You got to
investigation
go up
should be
a little
concluded in the
more
coming
aware
weeks.
of your surroundings and
According
what's
to one
exactly
report,
going on.
The plane was trying to talk to 5,000 feet when there was a large bang that caused the aircraft to shake and shudder. The passenger said the right engine was on fire, sparking and losing
41
pieces.
seconds left in the third, and
And
then
we
all
thought
kind
it
of
was
takes
just
a
Spirit
back
trying
seat
to save
to
money by getting rid of plane engines.
the status of Pat McCaw here,
Man
just his
walks
health in
21
general.
miles to work every day.
I assure you, Vince Carter had no idea
If
the little
James
bit of
Robinson
contact
is
that
the
they got
hardest working man in
would end
America,
up
we'd
in
love
that
to hear
part of the
your
spill.
nomination.
No
Not
question.
only has he not missed a day of work in 12 years, but for the past 10 years,
You know kind of the rules of the road, James. Someone elevates for a dunker layup.
Yeah.
If you're beat like that, you don't touch him at all. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, if you do, you reach your hand out and kind of put it on their hip, and just, you hold on, he goes up, and you guide him back down. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that a million times.
So you have the
From there,
whole
he walks
teams
another 6 miles
all coming
to work
together.
to the 10 shift at
and
Shane
thoughts
Logan
for Pat
Engineering.
McCaw.
Wow, this is quite a scene.
I've never seen that in the middle of a game ever before.
Only in the NFL.
He takes that as far as he can into Detroit and then walks the last 5 miles home. When Evan Leedy heard Robertson's story,
To this long, guess what, Jim? They switched defensively a lot like the Warriors. Curry got hurt. Curry got bounced on the screen. And Stephen is really having a problem.
And a local dealership has offered to give him a car. With that much cash on hand, Robertson could buy a new house, or 10 in Detroit. In fact, here's a sweet pad for sale right around the corner from his work.
Oh, the water comes down, so he's going to be soaking wet.
Health hazard.
British teen may have died from chewing too much gum. Too much chewing gum may have played a role in the Wales in 2011. Excessive intake prevents the thing and/or sorbitol, two sweetener ingredients in sugar-free gum, may have interfered with electrolytes in Samantha Jenkins' body, causing her salt levels to drop. Lumps of
As a
gum
result,
found in
it's
her
a
stomach
3-0
may
game
have also
with
affected the
about 2.5
teenager's
minutes
ability
gone by,
to
and
absorb
Steph
vitamin
Curry worried about
Jenkins suffered from a brain stem
the way he
due
landed.
to swelling of the brain caused by
He drew the
convulsions
foul.
from lack of salt magnesium.
Curry has had a number of ankle issues. In fact, last week in a game in Atlanta, he tweaked his right ankle.
Death by caffeine.
As he comes out of the tunnel,
a South Carolina teen is dead after a combo of caffeinated drinks triggered a fatal heart issue. His normally healthy heart. Davis Allen Pratt collapsed in class on April 26th and died just an hour later. The 16-year-old had consumed multiple caffeinated drinks that day and died from a caffeine-induced cardiac event. Otherwise known as abnormal heart rhythm. A healthy adult can safely ingest as much as 400 milligrams of caffeine daily, equivalent to either 4 cups of coffee, 10 colas, or 3 to 5 energy drinks. But for teens, the recommended daily intake is only 100 milligrams. That's a cup of coffee, 3 colas, or 1 energy drink. Caffeine prompts the release of the stress hormone norepinephrine, which can cause rapid or irregular heartbeat. Not enough blood is pumped through the body as a result, thus damaging or shutting down the brain and other organs. People who have had dilated overdoses also experience seizures, with some reportedly choking or vomiting. Caffeine does have certain benefits, and the vast majority consume it with no negative effects. But experts feel that it should be taken in moderation, especially for seniors.
Stop there.
The American Medical Association is warning about the potential harmful effects
this is the worst sign you could have.
As most of these products
It looks like it's his left ankle, though, not his right.
Suppressed energy savings and the lower reliance on fossil fuels.
It's been his right ankle.
The whole building has become silent.
Until it becomes hot enough to emit light. Incandescent bulbs therefore waste a lot of energy as heat. An LED bulb produces light when positive and negative electrons move around within its semiconductor structure. But not all LEDs are good for you, depending on their color temperature. The American Medical Association recommends that lights have a color temperature of no greater than 3000 Kelvin. Color temperature is a measure of spectral content. How much blue, green, yellow, and red is in the light. Higher color temperature generally means
without the ball, and that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to allow them to get it going off of your mistakes defensively. Oh, Curry goes down hard, landed on his back, hit his head as he tried to block Ariza. Curry appears to be a bit shaken up.
The color temperature is about 4,800 Kelvin. Mostly yellow and red.
The Warriors right now holding their breath.
Warriors using street lighting because this
training staff running out on the floor.
Blue light scattered more in the human eye.
Foul was on Curry. And just
sufficient levels
falling over a reason.
When LED light is concentrated, which can cause severe glare, resulting in strained eyes. Wow. The American Medical Association also warns that rich LED light can have a negative impact on human. The rich LED light is estimated to be 5 times more effective at suppressing melatonin at night than the sodium light used in street lighting, causing sleep disorders. So, if you were annoyed by the bright orange LED lights in the neighborhood and missed the old, dimly yellow street lights, now you know why.
Tattoos can make you sick. Thinking about getting some ink? You might want to think again. A new study finds tattoo ink may leave microscopic particles that can circulate in the immune system and end up in the lymph nodes. Scientists examined deceased individuals with tattoos and deceased individuals without tattoos using X-ray fluorescence to identify ink particles. They also used Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy to detect biomolecular changes in the surrounding tissue. Researchers found elevated levels of metals, including aluminum, chromium, iron, nickel, and copper, in the lymph nodes and skin in some of the tattooed subjects. The study concluded contamination could lead to chronic enlargement of the lymph nodes and long-term exposure to toxic compounds. The scientists say the next step will be to study what particular health effects ink particles may cause in the human body.
The raw water craze is going to come out badly. We all know vaccines are killing us, and so is our tap water. Thank God rich people that don't believe in science are now rushing to buy as much raw water as they can. What is raw water, you ask? It's unfiltered, untreated, unsterilized water collected from natural springs. Raw water fans are worried about contaminants such as chemicals and lead in municipal water and additives such as fluoride. It's also ridiculously expensive. In SF, it can cost $61 for a 2.5-gallon jug of raw water that could also give you raw cholera. Yay! Besides cholera, purest spring water can still be filled with animal doo-doo, hepatitis A, and E. coli. But hey, if raw Hershey squirts and nut butter are your thing, bottoms up. Achievement unlocked. For the first time ever, gaming addiction is set to be classed as a health issue by the World Health Organization. According to a draft definition, symptoms of gaming disorder can include continuation or escalation of gaming despite negative consequences. It can also be shown by the gamer exhibiting impaired control over gaming and or by more time being given to gaming, to the extent that it takes precedence over other important life aspects. And it's not like gamers can just go straight through.
Mark, I just spoke with a member of the Royal staff and told me that Steph Curry actually tweaked his
Symptoms have to go on for a year for a diagnosis to be assigned, but time can be short depending on the situation.
Guess what, Jim? They switched defensively a lot like the Warriors.
Curry woman damages leg nerves and muscles while wearing skinny jeans. Doctors are warning of the dangers associated with wearing tight jeans, saying that skinny jeans can cause a condition called compartment syndrome, where swollen muscles can end up severely damaging nerves in the leg. The warnings about skinny jeans come after an Australian woman encountered severe numbness of the leg and had to be hospitalized for several days after spending hours squatting to clean her covered. The squatting position, together with her tight jeans, caused the woman's muscles to swell. Swelling constricted the blood vessels and led to decreased blood supply in the lower legs. Looser pants would have allowed the muscles to expand to the side and relieve pressure on the blood vessels inside. The combination of swollen muscles and skinny jeans also placed pressure on the nerves in the calf, crushing the nerves and causing a loss of feeling in the woman's legs. As the woman walked home that evening, she found that she could not move her legs and feet properly and collapsed on the road. Doctors who studied the woman's nerves after she was hospitalized found that there were blockages in her leg nerves. She spent a few days in hospital recovering before she was able to walk on her own again.
Japan's Ministry of Health, Labour and Welfare announced on Friday that there is irrefutable proof of a direct correlation between taking the oral contraceptive Yaz, which has been used on the market since 2010, and the increased risk of thromboembolism. The ministry said 3 women have died in Japan from blood clot caused by taking the popular birth control pill, and called on manufacturer Bayer to include warning information in the drug's package insert. Yaz contains estrogenic and progestational compounds, which help regulate hormonal balance and reduce menstrual cramps. However, taking the estrogenic hormone can lead to blood clots, increasing the risk of thrombosis. The first victim was a woman in her 20s who died from a blood clot in the brain last June, 2 weeks after taking Yaz. The second victim was in her early teens. Blood clots were found in her lungs last September after she died. The latest victim was a woman in her 40s who died from blood clots in her lungs and legs this January. Doctors suggest that you immediately stop using the pill and seek emergency medical care if you develop any of the following symptoms: acute pains in the lower extremities, edema, also known as dropsy, sudden shortness of breath, chest pains, severe headache, paralysis or weakness of the extremities, alalia, or inability to speak, and acute loss of vision.
Sitting is the new smoking. Health experts have long warned against the perils of sitting all day, but a new study suggests the length of time spent inactive in between bouts of movement also matters. Hip-mounted accelerometers measured physical inactivity in nearly 8,000 Americans aged 45 years and older, and found that they were sedentary for 12.3 hours out of a 16-hour waking day. When measuring bout length, it was discovered that subjects who sat for longer periods at a time were more likely to have died at the end of the study period than those with shorter sitting spells. Findings indicate that moving around for every 30 consecutive minutes of inactivity may significantly decrease the risk for death. The study did not explain how sitting increases early death, but experts suggest inactivity exposes the body to higher blood glucose levels, which leads to problems like diabetes, heart disease, or stroke. Prolonged sitting may also weaken the abdominal muscles, hip flexors, and glutes. It could also lead to a lack of circulation in the legs, potentially resulting in blood clots forming in the veins, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis. Alas, working out after a long day of sitting in an office chair may not necessarily undo all its ill effects. The best way to lengthen your lifespan, it seems, is to move about as often as you can. You might want to lay off the coconut oil. Health food enthusiasts and hipsters have long sworn by the many benefits of coconut oil, but according to the American Heart Association, it may not actually be all that good for you. Coconut oil, unlike most plant oils, is highly saturated. Its saturated fat content is 82%, higher than butter, beef fat, and pork flour. Saturated fat has been linked to low-density lipoprotein, which is bad cholesterol that can build up in the arteries and increase the risk of heart disease. The American Heart Association recommends eating less saturated fat and replacing it instead with unsaturated plant oils, nuts, and seeds. Staple coconut oil has been linked to raising cholesterol levels is scary. And while the evidence doesn't say increased consumption leads directly to heart disease, the fact remains that it contains plenty of saturated fat. So as with all things, it may best be taken in moderation. Frank Sachs was the lead author of the report debunking the idea that coconut oil is a health food. While speaking to USA Today, his advice was, you can put it on your body, but not put it in your blood. Nobody's presents con artists.
But he said it was Nigerian prince.
UK man faked being crippled and in a coma for 2 years. A British con man who pretended to be in a coma when he was supposed to be in court after he scammed his next-door neighbor out of $65,000 was able to keep the charade up for 2 years. Authorities say 47-year-old Alan Knight of South Wales had been scamming benefits while pretending to be a quadriplegic who had seizures and would occasionally fall into a coma. During that time, he was conning his elderly neighbor out of his retirement fund to pay for holidays and to buy a caravan. Knight was caught numerous times on CCTV in Tesco stores across the country after police traced his family's loyalty club card. Police tried twice to bring him into court, but both
teen shot at for asking.
This is why you shouldn't mess with your eyes. A Miami-based Instagram model ruined her vision after trying to change her eye color. According to the New York Post, Nadine Bruna traveled to Bogota, Colombia. Man sucked in the MRI machine. A 32-year-old man in India at a Mumbai hospital was sucked into an MRI machine Saturday night. Rahesh Maru was accompanying his mother-in-law to the hospital for an MRI scan. He was asked to carry an oxygen cylinder for a staff member, which...
You idiots!
Say cheese. A woman in southern China was reportedly so afraid her purse might be stolen, so she joined her handbag into an X-ray machine. The bizarre incident occurred on Sunday at Dongguan East Railway Station. After she put her luggage into the X-ray scanner, she became hesitant and refused to let her handbag go. The overly paranoid woman then decided to climb into the machine with her handbag. And this is what the X-ray scans looked like. Just got out of China. Almost 100. Women who clearly look like they've gotten way too much work done. Chinese women in search of a new face visit South Korea using medical tourist visas. Almost 100,000 Chinese visited South Korea in 2016 to get things pumped up, sliced off, and reshaped. No word on what happened to the 3 women, but they're still in South Korea. Maybe they should think about some plastic surgery. Oh, wait,